We got sneaky, huge news coming out of Philadelphia yesterday. Eagles' longtime offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland announced he is not returning to the organization. He was offered a role on the staff under the new offensive coordinator Sean Mannion, but declined. Stoutland's agent Alan Herman has indicated that his client was frustrated with how last season transpired, with his voice not being heard within the organization. I have two offensive linemen here. So I brought this in this morning and I said, is this something we want to do here today or not? And what's the first thing you said to me?
This is huge.
Yeah.
This is a huge blow to the Philadelphia Eagles. Jeff Stoutland is one of those rarefied air offensive line coaches. Right. He's elite. He's one of the best coaches in the game of football. And what we've known from the Philadelphia Eagles over the years is their offensive line year in and year out has been one of the best units in the National Football League.
Right.
Obviously, not last year, but the year before with Saquon Barkley rushing for over 2,000 yards. Why? Jeff Stoutland. He coached all those guys up.
Right.
And so for him to leave the organization, that's going to be – I don't know if they can replace that guy, to be honest with you.
No, this is massive news. And I'll say it this way, too. It's almost like because of him leaving – it's almost like they're going to transition into something completely new. Because if Stoutland can't get and didn't want to be a part of it, it's because they were going away from what he knew, the conviction that he had of being an O-line coach. And listen, every great O-line coach has a conviction, and they will tell you, this is how we're going to do it. There is no other way. We do it my way or the highway. That was the way Stout coached. That's the accountability he held for his guys. That means they're kind of veering off. They're going to change the scheme and the style.
Well, I also think it's significant, Harry. Let me just, because we talk about the dysfunction on that team and the questions and the reading of the books and all the cryptic posts and everything else that happens. I mean, here's, again, an offensive line coach whose agent is saying that he was frustrated with how last season transpired with his voice not being heard within the organization. The level of dysfunction has reached a point where the offensive line coach said, I've had enough here. Something's just not right.
Well, Greeny, I remember it was a few weeks ago, and we were talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and why they haven't hired an offensive coordinator at that time.
Yeah.
And I said, is Nick Sirianni going to give whoever is coming in full autonomy over that offense?
That's right.
I think this is another step in that direction of, okay, Sean Mannion, you're coming in. We know you have this implemented system that you probably want to run. We're going to give you full autonomy and let you be the loudest voice.
That's right.
And that's the next thing for this offense to move forward.
And it's a very different style run game. Like what Man's coming from and what Stoutland wanted to do. Those two things were not, they did not complement each other. The way that he wanted to run the game, and he's the run game coordinator. So all of those things have to fit. For play action, for protection, all of it has to look the same. For whatever reason, they couldn't get it working.
But I think the bigger point is, you know, we've always talked about like all the sniping with A.J. Brown and all those type of things. I always said, if you're hearing that, that's only 10% of what's really going on behind the scenes. It's like 5-alarm fire. When you're hearing snippets from players complaining, trust me, it's a lot worse behind the scenes.
I like that, snippets. From now on, we're using that. We're hearing snippets from players. And now the offensive line coach is out. Staying in the NFC East, Cowboys wide receiver George Pickens set to become a free agent this offseason after a monster year, 93 catches, 9 touchdowns. Yesterday out in San Francisco, Kay Adams was talking to his teammate CeeDee Lamb about how hard he's been working to keep his fellow wideout in Dallas. Listen.
How much behind-the-scenes work are you doing to keep him there?
A lot.
Tell me.
Because everybody in my face is trying to recruit him while I'm standing right next to him as if I'm not.
At the Pro Bowl?
Yes.
Tell me who. I want to know
Micah
who.
for one.
Micah?
Let's start with Micah. He's trying to
get out of here.
Yeah,
with
I don't
your
know.
Scooter. Go
I don't
do
know what's
something
going
else.
on with him. He's a little too active to be on a scooter.
Green Bay wants George Pickens.
Yeah, but they're not getting them.
So obviously, I mean, a little bit of fun there,
Yeah.
but the reality is George Pickens' agency is the same one that represented Micah Parsons last year. We all saw how that went, up to and including Jerry Jones saying he didn't know who the agent was, even though he's one of the best-known agents and best-connected agents in the sport. And so here's, CeeDee Lamb, we're recruiting. I mean, I think some of this is in good fun, but there is something consequential about it.
No, absolutely. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys, the ace that you're holding is the franchise tag, because to CeeDee's point, you don't want him going to the Green Bay Packers. He makes that receiving crew or receiving core so much better. What he did for Dallas this past year was absolutely, it was just an impressive feat. The issue with this, though, is how much money are you going to assign? CeeDee Lamb's already being paid, Dak's being paid. how much can you give that receiver room is going to be the question.
The number one priority is the defensive side of the football.
Yeah.
Look at the two teams in the Super Bowl. Top 8 in total defense. You look at the Dallas Cowboys last season, 30th in total defense, 32nd in pass defense, and 32nd in points allowed, allowing 30.1 points per game.
Yeah.
If you can't stop a nosebleed, I don't give a damn if you score 32. If you give up 33, you're going to lose the ball game.
You're right. But I think it's hard. You know, in the NFL, we play it two different ways, right? It's like, how do you better your team, but also how can you keep other teams from being better in your division that you know you're going to have to go see? I think they're going to kind of they got to play both of those.
I don't know anything about anything, but I know this: they're going to franchise tag George Pickens,
course.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's going to wind up happening here, right? I mean,
Well, yes,
how he handles that, I don't know.
Because if you don't keep him, now you can trade, do a sign and trade with another team, but you got to get something out of it if you're the Dallas Cowboys.
They're going to franchise tag him. Listen, the one thing I do know, that Jerry Jones is going to wait till the last minute because he always does with these type of things, and he's ultimately going to get franchised.
Here's the thing. George Pickens, like leaving Pittsburgh, and even a couple games this past year, did not look overly interested. I'm not saying he was or wasn't, but he didn't look overly interested a couple times. You franchise him, you can make me play. You can't make me play hard. There's something to say for that, too. You know it. And receivers of any position, what do they care about, Greeny?
Chris Carter once said it to me: receivers only care about two things, me and my money.
Let them know.
So we'll see what winds up happening. You never know. Back to the NFL for a sound off. Interesting people saying interesting things. I thought this was interesting. Cam Jordan was on First Take yesterday. He had a very strong and interesting take on Josh Allen and his performance in big games. Take a listen.
Josh Allen, if I thought anything, I thought this was the year.
Yeah, of course.
I said,
They're all out.
All these guys are out. It's his time. And he proved what I thought about him. He plays excellent during season. He shows up. He is Superman. And at the same time, he can't win those big games right now.
So that was interesting, and I saw that it got a lot of attention yesterday. And it's a complicated one because sometimes you defend. I feel like there has become like a cottage industry of paying attention to how people perceive Josh Allen right now. I don't know exactly why it's turned to that, but that's where we are right now. So I'll just give you the numbers. I am very much a Josh Allen fan and supporter. I don't root for the Bills, but Josh Allen, I think, is that good. This was the first playoff game that you could legitimately put at his feet.
Yeah.
So there was total legitimacy to saying this was their year, this was their chance, and he didn't play big. And I believe that's why he was crying after that game because, and he used the words himself. I feel like I let my teammates down. I understand why he feels that way because he didn't play well. The reality is Josh Allen has played 15 playoff games in his life. He has thrown 29 touchdowns and 6 picks. He's rushed for 9 more touchdowns.
Yeah.
So that's a total of 38 touchdowns in 15 games, over 3,900 yards passing, and 66% completion percentage. So Josh Allen, up until this one, has been brilliant in the playoffs, and his teams have come up short. This game obviously leaves him open for whatever criticism you want.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're talking about one game in a small sample. Like what Cam Jordan did, he can't win the big game is not facts. I mean, like you talk about even the 13-second game against Kansas City Chiefs where he walked off the field. How many times has he walked off the field with the lead? Like it's a 3-phase game in the NFL, and unfortunately, the defense hasn't held up their end of the bargain. What are they average? Giving up 31+ points in the playoffs, and part of why Sean McDermott got let go this year. But to talk about Josh Allen this year. He played poorly, and I said it, and everybody tries to blame. But the facts are the facts. He didn't do. But their team, when everybody kept saying this was his year, my problem with that was his team wasn't as good as it was in the past. The receiving core wasn't what it should have been. The defense wasn't what they should have been. And to ask one guy to repeatedly do this against, again, one of the best defense in the league being the Denver Broncos, I didn't think it was that. I thought that was way overblown when you talk about, it's now because Lamar's not in or Mahomes isn't in. It doesn't have anything to do with you don't play those guys, by the way. Your quarterbacks don't play each other. They play the defenses, and unfortunately, Denver got the best of him this year.
But he made uncharacteristic mistakes.
Agreed.
I understand that, Greeny, and I wholeheartedly disagree with the take from Cam Jordan because
100%.
Even though Josh Allen wasn't his best, that offense still put up 30 points. They put up 30 points versus a vantage defense in the Denver Broncos, and their defense didn't get stops when they needed to get stops. We can also make the argument there are 2 passes that Josh Allen actually made in overtime. If the receivers just catch the football, the game is probably over and the Buffalo Bills are advancing.
Right.
I'm not absolving Josh Allen of his wrongdoings in that game because those plays, number one, they bothered him, they bothered fans, they bothered us as an analyst, and you can't have them at the quarterback position. But you take Josh Allen off that team, I don't even believe they make the playoffs.
Oh, no chance.
No, listen, I've said this past the divisional game was the first time you can pin it on Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Like that was other than that, like Josh Allen has been absolutely brilliant in the postseason. And when your head coach, his specialty is on the defensive side, and consistently that side of the ball keeps letting you down. You see what happened in Buffalo.
Brandon Cooks caught that ball too, by the way. I still say he caught that.
I think it was a catch, but for a receiver, from a receiver standpoint, don't put it into the referee's hands.
Yeah,
Come down with the football.
Fair enough. It wasn't in the referee's hands. It was in his hands first, and then he went down. The referee took it out of his hands.